Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm a little nervous today because my 6-year-old has a baseball game today, and his coach asked me if I would, quote, help during the game. Well, this is what's called C-ball, coach pitch baseball, which means that one of the coaches or the dads gets on the mound and pitches to these kids. Well, I pitch to my sons all the time, but I get up close because I don't have very good control from a long ways away. Well, they will only let you stay so close in this league when you're pitching to the kids. And I'm hoping that the coach does not ask me to pitch. I will keep you updated on whether that happens. But I'm probably the best pitcher on the team if I'm close enough. But I don't want to try to pitch to these kids from a long ways away. I'll let you know how that goes if I'm in a situation where I have to do this. This is something funny that I found from Darth Ripple, at Ripple Darth. He gives me a lot of good information, so I wanted to show you this just because it's funny. He says, they mentioned me in this article. According to Darth Ripple Inc., this is an excellent feature that only Ripple Inc. can boast of. Ripple XRP is well capitalized. I wanted to show you this because a lot of times we talk on here about how a lot of the news in crypto, a lot of it just seems to be kind of strange, like maybe they either didn't know what they were talking about or they're just making things up and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Sometimes it just sounds like fake news where they just created some headline from an old piece of news. That's kind of what this reminds me of. But if you look at this, this is from, I'm trying to X that out as we go. This is from Ethereum World News, if my slow computer can get it going here. Here we go. This is from Ethereum World News. Ripple Inc. XRP, like they're the same thing, is well, I mean, this person, like, it's like they're saying they're hung up on this Inc. word. Ripple Inc. XRP is well capitalized, and there's a reason for that. It says April 4th, 2019. But the funny part down here, they're talking about how Ripple has offices around the globe. Funny part down here is, according to Darth Ripple Inc., this is an excellent feature that only Ripple Inc. can boast of. The Ripple Inc. shareholder tweeted that Dogcoin, and then they talk about Darth Ripple's tweet, but they're hung up on this Inc. word for some reason. The most bizarre, but I'll click on the tweet there so that you can see it. It's the most bizarrely written article that I've seen in a while, but I just thought it was funny. The guy obviously, there's a huge language barrier or something. The tweet from Darth Ripple was, Dogcoin, Cardano, Bitcoin, Funcoin, etc., do they also have offices all around the world just like Ripple? Hodl. But if you don't have faith in XRP, sell it. Buy some useless coin. Maybe it will make you feel better. And this was a picture he put. Quote of the day, if anyone's having a bad day, remember that today in 1976, Ronald Wayne sold his 10% stake in Apple for $800. Now it's worth $58 billion. Great. But anyway, this is a tweet from, like, I guess March 25th. But anyway, just a bizarre thing that I thought was kind of funny. All right. This is, and I always butcher his name. I think maybe someone told me this guy's name, how to say it, a while back, but I forgot. Sorry. Dilip Rao, he works for Ripple, presenting on behalf of Ripple at Arab Regional Payment Systems Conference on the 27th of March in Abu Dhabi. Future of payments via Interledger. And this is what I wanted to show you that he says this is awesome. All payments will be micropayments. That's a pretty strong statement right there. All payments will be micropayments. That's pretty interesting when you think about it. Okay, next, let me see what this was. This is from Masari News. Now I'm going to go, I haven't watched these yet, but I wanted to bring it to your attention so that you could. CoinDesk releases blockchain documentary series on Amazon Prime. And so it's, I think, just type in blockchain on Amazon Prime. I think it's called Blockchain something. But that's from Masari News. Go check that out. I'm probably going to watch. I think it's like a 6-part series. Okie dokie. And now XRP researcher. Now this is an interesting piece of news, and I want to go through this. He says, follow him at XRP News _. Something big is coming with Ripple and Alipay. Listen at the 32-minute mark. Brad, a little stumble, hesitance followed by a clear rethink of how to word what he is going to say without letting the cat out of the bag. He sends you to his website, okay? And this thing has been taking a second to load itself. Let me see if I can, well, I had it. I'm reloading it so that you can see it. But anyway, what this is about is it's about a video from this FinTech. It's called the FinTech, I believe it was called the FinTech Ideas Festival. It'll come up in a second if my computer, which is driving me crazy, will load. The Future of Payments, featuring Dan Schulman and Brad Garlinghouse. He's added a couple of things since I was looking at it. I just reloaded. Finally, the video was released from FinTech Ideas Festival that was held this week. Dan Schulman, the president of PayPal, was on stage with Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple. Great video. We suggest you watch the whole thing. It's about 30 minutes or so. We found 2 key takeaways if you don't have time. Ripple is now signing 3 clients per week. That's one takeaway. They had a record Q1 2019. That's another one. And then this is the part that's really interesting. Brad Garlinghouse at about the 31-minute mark. Been in talks with, he says, we've been in talks with Alipay, and he really stumbles around and fumbles around when it gets to this point, and it literally looks like he has something he could say, but he's not going to say it, and he kind of backtracks. He says, listen, at the 31-minute mark, Brad knows something big with Alipay. Now, if you want to go to this website, it's xrprightnow.com. That's xrprightnow.com. He's taken a lot of time with his site, so go check that out. Let me get rid of the XRP researcher here, and then I'm going to bring you this tweet. And I wanted to, let me see if, I did pull something on this so that I could give you something specific. This is from cryptocurrency at crypto_goat_. $243 trillion in global debt bomb is a disaster only Bitcoin can fix, or cryptocurrency, that is. I wanted to just read you the last line. Now keep in mind, folks, I've been talking about how the central banks, the money printing, the QE 1, 2, 3, and global debt, the creation of all these central banks and banks, they have destroyed our money. I've been talking about this since I started this channel. And now Market Watch seems to get it, or is writing articles on it. This concept is going mainstream now. Bitcoin is a hedge against new world of central bank policy, says fund manager. And when they say new world, if I was to tell you, if I was to say, I told my dad this the other day, and I'll say it like I told my dad. When I was a kid, I can remember coming home. I can remember being at home when my dad would get home from work, and back then, you young people out there don't realize this. We didn't have around the clock news back then. Back then, your father would sit down with his dinner maybe and watch the 6 o'clock news with Dan Rather, or there was like 4 choices: CBS, ABC, the main network channels they had, and they controlled the news. Well, when my dad would sit down and watch news, financial news is part of what they would cover every night. Well, when he watched financial news when I was growing up, all I remember ever being talked about was the economy and the growth of the economy and companies and what companies were doing and different things that were the free market at work. Those were the type of things that were talked about. When I was a kid, they were not. Every time you turned on the news to hear financial news, They were not talking about, oh, I wonder what the Fed's going to do. I wonder if is it going to be QE 1, 2, 3? Are they going to hit the print button? Are they going to bail someone out? Those weren't discussions when I was a kid, because those things are the creation of a bunch of government morons who have proceeded to destroy our country not just our country, but the countries of the world with all of this BS government monetary policy, when what they really need to do is let the free market go and quit intervening in the economies of the world. That's the real solution. That's what digital assets represent. And Market Watch is actually putting an article out about this, and they're calling it a new world of central bank policy. What it really is a new world of a bunch of government people trying to engineer finance and the economy when they need to get their butts out of it. That's what what really this means. New world. It's not a new world. It's something that will collapse, because you can't. Free market is free market. You don't control it. That's not how it works. The second you start bailing out one guy, his competitor who didn't get bailed out is at a disadvantage. So you no longer have a free market. That's the whole point. That's why I was so excited when these digital assets came about, because digital assets represent the freedom that has been taken from us by these central banks and these governments and bankers. They stole the free market from us, and now we have a chance to have it back, and they can't control it. That's why they hate it so much. But they're going to find out they can't do anything about it. Okay, well, I'm going to read for you the last paragraph of this article. What Bitcoin and crypto assets purportedly provide is an avenue to diversify against any existential policy errors proponents like Kling say. That is a sentiment shared by Naeem Aslam, Chief Market Analyst at Think Markets UK. I'm not saying that fiat money is going to vanish, but the way the central banks are managing the monetary policy and levels of government debts, we are going to bring the shine in the Bitcoin's price. And all they're saying right there is these central banks are sticking their nose into the free markets, and digital assets are what's going to protect us from them, from their destruction of our economies. Exactly. Okay. Next. I want to show you this. This is huge right here, folks. And I'm going to read a little bit from this. Bitcoin, BlackRock, and the rise of alternatives. This is from Forbes, who hates XRP, but they're okay with Bitcoin, apparently. This is an article from yesterday. On Tuesday, BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world with $6 trillion under management, said it would undergo a massive management overhaul, in part reorganizing to focus on alternative investments. And while BlackRock declines to comment on any plans for larger forays into crypto assets, it recently hired former Ripple product marketer Robbie Mitchnick to its digital wealth team. Last summer, Mitchnick and Stanford Business School professor Susan Athey published a paper called A Fundamental Valuation Framework for Crypto Assets, which essentially laid out a sophisticated model for valuing cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and XRP. And now I want to show you their valuation. You may not have seen this before. I've shown it on my channel before. Here's what they say. We have demonstrated the practical application of the model on two leading crypto assets, BTC and XRP, and arrived at a fundamental value range today for BTC of $13,600 to $28,100, and for XRP of $1.59 to $8.23. This result, though calculated using imperfectly precise estimates, suggests that both BTC and XRP may have significant upside from current price levels, despite the spectacular price appreciation in both currencies since early 2017. And next, from XRP Research Center, I showed you this earlier, NGM Exchange launches the second XRP tracking exchange-traded product in the world. They've got a video of it. Go to @XRP Center to see that. And finally, I am so sick of listening to people on Twitter talking about how regulatory uncertainty is going to prevent XRP and other crypto assets from rising. That is a bunch of bull, and I can prove it. This is an article from August 8th of 2016. They were saying the same garbage back then. Oh, we've got all this regulatory uncertainty. Bitcoin will not be widespread due to regulatory uncertainty. They were saying the same garbage back then. And do you know what happened with Bitcoin after August 8th, 2016? I think you do. Well, in August of 2016, let's look, the price was somewhere in the 600s. That's what Bitcoin did. After all, even with all that regulatory uncertainty, after that, Bitcoin went to 20,000. It wasn't until after it was 20,000 last year that they said, oh, Bitcoin's not a security. Wasn't it till then? Remember that. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell all your friends and family that Bitcoin rose to 20,000, and it was complete. It didn't matter that they were saying that there's regulatory uncertainty. It didn't matter then. It doesn't matter for XRP now. XRP can rise on a dime, and there's not any one thing that'll stop it from doing it. When it does rise, it won't even necessarily be tied to anything in particular. It'll just happen. Every time that's what's happened. Thank you for listening.